UFC 324 is over, and it was one of those cards where the fights backed up the reads. Quick recap before we get into it. We dropped our picks a couple of days out and hit 4 out of 5 on the main card, with most fights playing out exactly as expected. Same win conditions, same key moments, the same patterns showing up when it mattered. If you want to understand what our analysis is based on, and how we turn that into picks and profit over time, watch the full video. I'll break down the process, how we analyze fights, and how we manage risk so it's not just guessing. What's up, everyone? UFC 324 is in the books. We dropped our picks a couple days before the event, and overall we hit 4 out of 5. Not bad. So let's run it back and review what we predicted, what actually happened, and what decided these fights. Arnold Allen versus John Silva is the only one that flipped the script on us. I picked Allen by decision because he's usually the guy who doesn't give you free mistakes. He is usually the one to have layered game and controlled pace. Early on, you could see him trying to do exactly that, keeping it measured, staying technical, trying not to get dragged into the wild exchanges. But the reality was, Silva didn't need early chaos to win. He just made the fight feel dangerous the whole time. He landed the heavier-looking moments, the kind of shots that stick in the judges' minds. And in a close fight, that matters. Allen had clean work, but Silva had the stamp moments, and he takes it by unanimous decision. Apart from this one, we were right on the money with all the following fights. Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas was another one where the margins were razor thin. I picked Natalia Silva by decision, basically betting on speed, activity, and her ability to win minutes by keeping the tempo high. Rose's whole win condition was turning it into a chess match. Slowing the rhythm, setting traps, landing the cleaner counters, and controlling positions when needed. And that's pretty much what we got. It was a tight, tactical, and honestly controversial fight. It was a close one. It could have gone either way. Silva edged it on the scorecards with just enough late momentum and activity to steal those close rounds. Officially, it's a unanimous 29-28 type of win, and even if you thought Rose did enough, you can see how judges gave it to the fighter who looked busier in the key stretches. Now we're in heavyweight territory. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. I picked Waldo by decision because the smart way to beat Lewis is discipline and a tight game plan. Our money was on Waldo Cortez because he can fight smart. We expected angles, clean exits, no backing up in straight lines, and a steady game plan to bank minutes while Lewis waits for the one punch. Waldo actually fought exactly like that. He was calm and patient. No easy reads for Lewis and no rushing into a brawl. Once the opening showed up, he put Lewis down and finished it with ground and pound in the second round. So the prediction was spot on. As a rule, discipline and calculation beat one-punch fighters. Let's look into the co-main, Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. It also played out the way we framed it. I leaned O'Malley by decision because his whole game is range management and timing. He wants you reaching, walking onto long shots, paying a tax every time you try to enter. Song's plan was to take the center and make it a real boxing fight with heavy punches and pressure that forces O'Malley to back down. As we said in the prediction, Song was trying to get inside without eating jabs and kicks on the way in. Song connected. His punches landed, but that was not enough to convince the judges. Song had moments where he made it really dangerous, but O'Malley won on judges' scorecards. In close fights, when it could go either way, the judges tend to favor O'Malley. The same thing happened in the Peter Yan fight, and now here we go again. The thing is, O'Malley is Dana's favorite because he sells tickets and pay-per-views. You should take it into account when analyzing Dana's poster boys. And finally, the main event. Justin Gaethje taking on Pimblett. Structure versus chaos. Justin had to make sure he wouldn't overswing himself into bad positions. Paddy had moments. He always does. But across 5 rounds, Gaethje's pressure and punishment were just too methodical and too consistent. The surprise was that Paddy barely tried to take it to the ground. He chose to stand and trade for all 5 rounds with the hardest puncher in the division. And to be fair, there were moments where Paddy did land clean counters and fire back. But overall, he absorbed more damage in this one fight than he had in all his UFC fights combined. On top of that, he got poked in the eye twice, nasty ones. But he didn't cry about it and didn't back down. He fought to the very end. That was definitely the fight of the night. We were expecting Gaethje to get the knockout, but Paddy's chin turned out to be seriously tough. Let's recap. 4 out of 5 fights. Pretty good, right? There is no guarantee your bet will hit. But in practice, if you approach betting with a clear head, combined with insider info, you can actually make money. This is MMA. One punch can change everything. But in the long run, if you've got a strategy and you stick to it, watching fights becomes more than entertainment. It can be a real opportunity to profit. If you want regular updates, insider info from the camps, and strategy-based betting breakdowns, subscribe to my Telegram channel. I drop picks, notes, and late changes as they happen, so you're not betting blind. Link is in the description.